Megyn Kelly, who made a name for herself on Fox News, telling little children that Jesus and Santa were white, and then went over to NBC where she got canned after saying there was nothing wrong with wearing blackface. Megyn Kelly somehow remains relevant on the right with her podcast and Sirius radio show. Megyn Kelly, who supports Trump, is furious about Pam Bondi suppressing the Epstein files. She's angry. Megyn Kelly is, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. She tweeted this. This is how angry she is. Can confirm it's Bongino or Bondi, and the pick is obvious. Bondi must go. So the word is right now, Patel is staying as head of the FBI. But Bongino, as of right now, still has not denied reports he's about to quit over the Epstein files. He could tamp down the rumors like Patel did, but so far hasn't. Couple things about this. If you're Trump, my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry. But if you're Trump and you have to choose between Bongino and Pam Bondi, who are you going with? I mean, if he walks in, as Megyn Kelly said, Bongino says to Trump, it's either me or her. Who do you go with? I have been told he's going to stick with Bondi, that Megyn Kelly is wrong once again. The problem with Bongino is he's a self-serving rageaholic. He's an ex-cop turned Secret Service agent, not a lawyer, and he's not used to being a team player. He became a star on Fox. They let him go. He turned to independent media, becoming incredibly popular. He started making a lot of money doing a podcast and became his own king. Didn't have to answer to anybody. And then he takes this job at the FBI playing second fiddle to Kash Patel, who I understand Bongino has zero respect for. Kash Patel, who is a lawyer. Bongino, not a lawyer. Patel has worked inside the Justice Department as a public defender, so he knows how to get along with people, sort of, kind of. And he's loyal to Trump. Doesn't have the temerity to say to Trump, it's either her or me. So what I'm hearing is Trump's not going to pick Bongino over Pam Bondi. And right now, Bongino is weighing whether it's better in the long term to be on the inside or the outside. If he quits, and right now it looks like he has at least threatened to quit, he will have a hard time returning to MAGA world, billing himself as a White House insider, because Trump will destroy him. When Bongino restarts his podcast, advertisers will be told ordered quietly, do not buy time on Dan Bongino's show. A lot of these right-wing radio shows and podcasts have audiences that are artificially inflated by right-wing billionaires. I've been over that. We'll discuss it some other time. So Bongino is beginning to realize that it would be wiser for him to stay for as long as he can and not make an enemy of Trump's. At the same time, he's a rageaholic. And apparently what came down during the meeting with him this week, with him and the other White House principals, it was almost, if not worse, than the fist fight that broke out between Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Elon Musk. I've told you about that. So personally, I am really interested to see how this shakes out. Bongino is probably trying to get back into Trump's good graces. From what I understand, he's painted himself in a corner. This is the Trump White House. This is what eventually protects us from fascists. They always fail. They will destroy millions of lives along the way. But fascists are stupid. They're stupid rageaholics, and they always F up. When it comes to this Trump White House, what we are talking about here are mental defectives. Every single one of them. You cannot get a job inside the Trump White House unless you are a mental defective. stupid and something missing, a part of your brain missing. These are men who can't hold it together, and they always end up snapping, and that's what Trump wants, because then he has something on them. So right now, I am hearing Dan Bongino is trying to get back in with Trump and Pam Bondi. But Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, who saw Bongino's behavior close up, was appalled. We will see. It's fascinating. What do you think? Leave a comment. Do you think Bongino stays or goes? Is he capable being wingman to Kash Patel? I mean, this is the definition of a pathological alpha male. Speaking of which, pathological alpha male wannabes, this is Emil Bove, or Bove. I've been told I've been mispronouncing this homunculus's last name. Emil Bove also served on Trump's criminal defense team before working as a defense attorney. He served in the Justice Department as a prosecutor, and he, like Bongino, is a rageaholic. There are numerous reports about how Bove almost got fired from the Justice Department years ago, how coworkers accused him of abusive behavior. He was written up. He was going to be demoted. He had to beg for his job. And there are other reasons he wasn't fired, because a judge was calling for him to be sanctioned for prosecutorial misconduct. And the Justice Department said, if we fire him, then we'll be creating a bigger problem, admitting that the judge was right for trying to sanction him for prosecutorial misconduct. There are new reports that when Emil Bove served briefly as Trump's deputy attorney general this year, he was abusive towards staffers as well as our Constitution. So you might remember I said he was going to have a hard time working under Pam Bondi. You might remember I told you that Bove was working this year in the Justice Department before Bondi arrived, because she had to be confirmed as Attorney General. So he was like the acting deputy Attorney General until Todd Blanche and Bondi got confirmed. And he was basically, for a couple of weeks, he ran the place, and he began firing people and challenging court orders. And then, when Pam Bondi got confirmed and shows up to work, I've been told he had a hard time giving up the power he held for a couple of weeks. He didn't like going from being the number one guy in the Justice Department to the number 3 guy, right behind Todd Blanche. So, what I heard is Pam Bondi decided Bove had to go. The same way Megyn Kelly is reporting Bongino said it's either Bondi or me. I heard Bondi told Trump, I need to get rid of Bove. I don't think Bondi would say it's either me or him. I think she said, I got to get rid of Bove. He's not good for the department. So Bove was just nominated for a lifetime appointment to the bench in New Jersey. They're getting rid of him. Confirmation hearings not going well. There are new reports that on his questionnaire that he had to fill out for the Senate Judiciary Committee, Bove refused to say whether Trump would be allowed under the Constitution to run for a 3rd term. He wants to be a judge. He refused to say Joe Biden won the 2020 election. He refused to say January 6th was an insurrection. So he's still at the Justice Department working under Bondi and Todd Blanche, miserable, awaiting his confirmation, which may not come. Who knows? I looked into the blue slip process. It doesn't apply to his nomination. We've talked about the blue slip process. This is a Senate tradition where a senator can hand in what is actually a blue slip that blocks a judicial nominee from being considered for a judgeship in that senator's home state. So Bove is nominated to sit on the 3rd Circuit Court, which covers New Jersey. Obviously, Senator Cory Booker or Andy Kim, the 2 Democrats from New Jersey, would blue slip his nomination, and tradition dictates that the Senate would oblige them and his nomination would be thrown out. But the blue slip tradition has changed. Bove is nominated to sit on the 3rd Circuit Court, which covers New Jersey, but home state senators can no longer blue slip a circuit court nominee. Only district court nominees. What's the difference? A federal district court is where the trials take place, and those judges, the nominees for those judgeships, they can still be blue slipped. Circuit courts are the appellate courts. They are the last stop before the Supreme Court. Bove has been appointed to the Third Circuit Court, not a district court. And as of 2017, circuit court nominees can't be blue slipped. Why am I telling you this? I just want to make sure nobody is listening to this show. This is anybody. I wanted to learn parliamentary procedure in the Senate, so you people have to suffer. That's what I did. That was a very passive-aggressive move by me to anybody who's still here. Nobody cares about the blue slip process. Megyn Kelly. I was talking about Megyn Kelly. Here she is talking to Charlie Kirk on Friday about the blue slip process. No, I'm kidding. Here she is. I'm talking about Pam Bondi now. Here's Megyn Kelly talking to Charlie Kirk from Turning Points. He had this big conference. I think it was in Tampa, Florida on Friday. And here she is, right? Here she is talking to Charlie Kirk about how much she hates Pam Bondi.
All have busy lives, and President Trump has a busy life, and I don't think he realizes how much she's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted wound. She caused it. Again, I have nothing against Pam Bondi, but if you want to look for the villain in this story, we have found her. She is the person she's either lying now or she was lying then. There's no two ways about it.
All right, I got something for you. This is exciting. I have 100% accurate artificial intelligence. I call it AI stupidity. This is 100% real artificial intelligence. It's Pam Bondi's response to Megyn Kelly. Now, some of you might think this is fake. It's not. It's real artificial intelligence, not fake artificial intelligence. It's real artificial intelligence that I created using an artificial intelligence program that mimics Pam Bondi. And I make her say something she never said. So it's real. It is real, 100% artificial intelligence, nothing fake about this artificial intelligence. It is 100% fake, but real. Here's Pam Bondi.
It's because I'm stupid, right? That's why everyone's picking on me, because the hair dye has seeped into my skull and my neurons are fried. It's not fair. You're all just a bunch of duty bombs.
Wow. Jesus, we're all going to die. Now, I had programs before that weren't AI that could kind of do that. This is effortless, and Hollywood is not going to exist in a year. Let me just play this again. Here we go.
It's because I'm stupid, right? That's why everyone's picking on me, because the hair dye has seeped into my skull and my neurons are fried. It's not fair. You're all just a bunch of duty bombs.
All right. Meanwhile, Steve Bannon, whom Elon Musk says is in the Epstein files, Steve Bannon is calling on Donald Trump to release all the files and appoint a special counsel to look into the whole Epstein story. I have an idea. Maybe Trump could appoint former Labor Secretary Alex Acosta as the special prosecutor to look into the Epstein files. You might remember Acosta was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida back in 2008 and helped negotiate Epstein's sweetheart deal, in which Epstein only pled guilty to soliciting one minor for prostitution, even though at the time there were dozens, some as young as 13. Acosta was later appointed Secretary of Labor under Donald Trump. He was forced to resign his post as Labor Secretary back in 2019 after the entire Epstein story broke.